They were good.
What was that?
They were good downstairs.
Yeah, we can hear it. Josh is killing it down there.
Bro, they I'm so surprised at how much they're like receiving from us. Like I'm literally thinking to myself, they're not gonna get this, they're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
But once I saw Josh like open up about who he was, being Josh, I was like, yo, I got this.
Yeah.
I was like, I got this.
Definitely.
And then I had to realize like, y'all are just like us.
Yeah.
Y'all
Same problems.
No, not the cocaine and stuff. Yeah, not that. No, they're completely opposite.
But life-wise,
life-wise, yeah, man.
Yeah. Sorry, just reminding you. So after Josh would be you, and then Kevin, and then me.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, this is. I'm loving it out here because, as a comic, we have to challenge ourselves every day. With our material.
I can't even start to imagine how challenging it is,
bro,
for you guys.
It's the same as when you.
No, it's not. It's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. For you, it's really because I speak English. You don't speak Bahasa Indonesia.
No, we don't.
Right? You have no context. I have context of what it might be, because you have no idea, right? It's tougher for you, I feel like. But having seen
it's
you,
scarier to go into something like that. It's scary, but then it's like I have a built-in excuse at the same time, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, it has nothing to do with if I'm funny or not. It has everything to do with like, well, it's probably a loss in translation.
Yeah. And also, for me, I'm like, what are we gonna say that may offend somebody, as far as like, the cultural beliefs, or if I say something negative about marriage, because I remember I did a set, and it was a room full of people from India, and it was all women, and I said something about marriage, and I said something about my wife, and like before I had them laughing, they were enjoying it, but then I talked about marriage, and then they turned on me when I was like, yeah, I was like, marriage is okay. And they're like, what do you mean marriage is okay? What do you mean? I was like, yo, what the? So I gotta be careful, like when I say certain things, because they don't understand. Like this is like, I'm an American. So a lot of times American men, we talk about, our wives a certain way, not in front of them, but but we say certain things, like usually, like when I open my setup, if I notice there's like couples in the crowd and I can tell who's married, I always say, hey, I'm not here to perform, I only did the show, so I don't go straight home. And that gets a laugh because the guys know they don't like going straight home. Like if they get off work, they'll go to the bar first. They'll like drink a little bit and then they'll go home and be like, oh, I gotta deal with her ass again.
How come women can't just like be hurt and be happy?
They're emotional.
Right, like as a man, I'm hurt all day long. I go home
every day.
Every day, my life is scum. And then and if I'm with my girl, I'm like, I got a little bit of happiness at home. And then if this bitch is hurt, everybody going down with her.
Oh my God!
Why is that?
Yeah, and it's the same everywhere around the world.
Around the globe.
Really?
Around the world. The problems like that, that's crazy.
And this is why. No, let me. I was about to wall out. See, I gotta tell myself.
And it's like, it's so crazy because if, let's say there's somebody in your group that your wife does not like, you cannot like them either.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm like, what is that?
Yo, I'm gonna remain unmarried. I've never met a guy that my girls didn't like that I mutually disliked. Oh. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Every guy that any girl I've been with was like, you gotta stop hanging out with. I'm like, why? That guy's awesome. But you don't like good times. That's what it is, babe.
Yeah.
Right. So we were talking about relationship-wise, it's pretty similar here and anywhere around the world. But also, I think one of you guys were talking about how similar the vibe of an open mic in Jakarta. Was it you?
Yeah. Because just like with any open mic you walk into, it's quiet. Because it's just like comics are in their own world, And my thing is, I don't like that. As a host, I tell you like, yo, fuck you, be engaged, because you're not gonna sit there and act like your shit is funnier than everybody here. This is a gym.
When I'm hosting, I do something kind of similar to that. Especially when I'm doing mics, is I'm like, yo, this whole thing you guys do where you go into your phones or you go into your notebook, if you got 5 minutes up here, if you don't know what the 5 topics you're talking about, maybe tonight's not your night.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of those people. A lot of those people who are even on stage, they be looking. I know you don't look at your notes.
I look at my notes. I do.
I've never seen you look at your notes.
Not if I look at my
On
notes
stage?
If I do that, it's because I've spent 3 or 4 shows or mics in a row where I didn't do the bit I wanted to do.
Oh, I see.
Then there's something off, and I'm like, let me make sure I do that bit.
Because you really want to do. You need to do it.
I need to work on it, or I need to get the beats right. At this point, it's about getting the beats right.
Yeah.
Right, and then figuring out the punchlines on stage and shit. But to what you're saying, this whole thing where you're not. First of all, if you're doing an open mic, if you're doing comedy, 50% of comedy is the room.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
if you're not in the fucking room as an audience member, it's not gonna work.
Right.
But if you're at an open mic and you know that you're doing the same thing and you're not gonna be in the room giving your fellow comrade the respect of doing his set or her set, you're a dickhead. Right? Like that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And to your point, that is why open mics suck.
Especially in the cities.
Especially in New York, that is why they are trash. That's why like a lot of open mics across the US are so trash, because the comics they just so within themselves. I'm gonna do my stuff and then I'm gonna get out. You know why that shit didn't land? Because you didn't show respect to the last comic that was up there trying to work their shit out, and then you be like, no, I'm gonna just ignore them and I'm gonna go up there and do my shit. Then stay home and do it.
You might as well be in the mirror.
Right, you might as well have
a
done it
mirror.
in the mirror.
Yeah. But here's the thing. There's also differences. At least that's what I noticed. In Indonesia, open mics, we have actual people.
Yeah.
Like when you did the first open mic, there's only 10% of them are comics and the rest are actually people.
Oh,
watching.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were all comics.
No.
So let me tell you something. That's the fucked up thing about New York City. There's too much no one's gonna pay for going to an open mic. It's too much competition.
And there's actual shows every day.
Yeah. So like, but if you go to like Kentucky, you go to their mic, they have 95 people in the audience.
Yeah.
On an open mic.
At an open mic.
At an open mic.
And those guys get spoiled because you also need to embrace the suck. The Army has a saying, right? It sucks to suck and embrace the suck. Pause. Because
You gotta say, Paul, you're in Indonesia, bro. Ain't
nobody
watching it. Nobody watching.
It's a habit. It's culture.
I do it for Cameron and Dipset. I don't do it because I actually care if anyone thinks I'm gay.
You think Jim Jones is like watching us? He's like, yo, Cam, I saw what you said.
You never know what they might see.
But then you were saying,
But, damn, what was I saying? Oh, embrace the suck, right? In the Army, life's gonna suck in the Army. You might as well embrace it now and enjoy when it does. So that you guys all suck together. Life sucks with you and your fellow soldiers. That's the same shit in comedy. If they understood that, yeah, this sucks right now. We're only performing for us 12. But let's enjoy it. Let's see what's funny about, like Ron Berman. Listen, do I want to pay to see him?
Guy.
No, I don't. But I love being around him. I think he's hilarious.
He's a great dude, right?
I think he's so fucking funny. And at first, it took me off guard because he's an insane person.
Yo, Ron is
it's crazy.
Oh my God!
He's the sweetest guy though.
Great guy. Great
dude.
guy.
But Ron Berman, like sometimes. Comedy's interesting. I can't always sit for Ron Berman's set because it gives me anxiety, right? But there's some moments where I'm like, nah, I'm gonna sit for Ron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy him, the character that he is, and the caliber comedian that he is, because he's really fucking funny.
Yeah, he is.
He's like a legit. From the second he's on stage, he's a character, to the second he's off stage, and that's incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. It takes discipline to want to be staying in that kind of character, even though he's not, he's not doing well, but staying in the character.
Yes, because I've seen him kill with that character, and it's a different level of kill. When he gets to kill, because people are just on board with him, it is an interesting thing to see. It makes you question you as a comedian, like, oh shit, I should be,
But that's also interesting, though. One of the things that I noticed straight away being in New York is how on every level there's always gatekeeping, which is interesting. So to be on the same page, so gatekeeping is an activity where there are people who gets to decide whether you can or cannot be on a show or perform at a club or be on a TV show or whatever, right? And at first, they are there to make sure to make sure of the quality of the show. So they want to gatekeep. But as it goes on, sometimes it gets political.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know how someone gets to get past. And I feel like we don't have it yet here because there's not a lot of comics. There's not a lot to keep the gate from. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so few comics.
You gotta really love this to do this in Jakarta.
Yeah, because
right?
there's no money in it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in New York, everybody wants to be part of the comedy scene, and that's why I understand gatekeeping is there.
This is my thing, right? Build your own gate.
Woo!
What does that mean?
Woo! If you see a gate, somebody built that gate. Why can't you build your own gate? Where there's a front door, there's a back door.
But don't you think sometimes people will be like, but I want to be that, I want to go into that one. Because
but
of
that door, maybe that door is not for you.
Oh, wow.
And especially not for you
this
in
is
that
deep.
Maybe
This
not
is
for
the
you in
thing.
that moment.
Not in that moment.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of comics are not ready for a lot of the opportunities that they're getting because they think that it's just another show and they don't realize how big it really is and the type of level you have to be at and you know what it takes to like really get in there. But sometimes it's just the business. Because sometimes you may have the face to sell it. You may not have the talent, but you have the image that can be sold. Because once they see that they can use you, and like these gatekeepers, once they see that they can use you and not pay you that much, they'll use you every time. You are that gear that they're going to keep turning.
So that's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but I think that's where we were getting to.
Because listen. You need some gatekeeping, right? You need a little bit of it.
You need a little bit of it.
Now, I don't like the way New York does it per se, right? Because there are moments where I felt like I deserved some stuff that looking back at it, I'm like, oh, I'm happy they gatekeeped me from that because I wasn't really ready.
Wow.
There are moments, if I look back, I'm like, I thought I was ready for that, but I really wasn't, right? And there are times now where I'm like, damn, I feel like I should be a little bit bigger than what I am, but I'm like, yo, at the same time, who's to say that that's real? Who's to say that I actually am ready? Maybe in 5 years, I'm looking back at it, I really wasn't ready for that.
And let me tell you something. The only gatekeeper is experience. You cannot have, this is like what's crazy to me. How are you keeping me from something and not letting me at least try? The best teacher is experience. And this is like my point. So I run a show in Harlem at this spot called Harlem Nights Bar. On Mondays, I have an open mic where people actually come to see the comedians do new material.
It's one of the few mics like that in New York City.
I think I have the only one. Maybe there's
people actually come,
people. Regular people come every Monday.
But tell them what they do.
And okay. So
tell them what you got these people doing with comedians.
All right. So what happens is we have like a bell point system. So those little counter bells. So every time the comedians tell a funny joke, we ring the bell. But I tell the audience, there's 3 steps to a joke. There's a premise, there's a setup, and then there's the punchline. The punchline is what makes you laugh. If the punchline makes you laugh, ring the bell, because people come in there, they don't know what to do, and then they be like, oh, where my ladies at? We right here, bang, bang, bang. And now I gotta take the bell. And what it does is it gives the comedians the confidence to do their material, because now they're doing it for the bells, and sometimes they're not doing it for the bell. They're just there to just get the thought out, but it be so good that they were like, you deserve that. Boom, you deserve that. So there's been comedians that have gone in there, they've got as much as 250 bells. And then there are comedians that have gotten no bells. But the worst thing I hate is when a comic is not funny and people are just ringing the bell.
What happened though? Why would they?
But because they're just giving them sympathy bells.
Oh, I see.
And the other thing is, if people in the audience don't have a bell, they can shout out bell and we'll give them the point. But I think
What's crazy about that is, comedians with 0 bells will come up to Rashad, because you run like an actual paid show, right? And then they'll go up to Rashad, yo, can I get some time on your show?
Yo,
like,
you
ain't
didn't
getting no
give
bells
bells.
for that.
Bro, like that's the whole point of the Mondays, so I can see how you can handle the Saturday show. Because with the Mondays, I can see like what your material's like, and you know how you
Are you gonna vibe with your crowd?
How you vibe with the crowd, right? Because on Saturday it's a totally different beast. They like, what the fuck is a bell? Like, people on Saturday don't know what happens on a Monday. So I need to see how you can handle the Monday, and then I move you to the Saturday, and then they come up to me and be like, yo,
But
Rashad, can I get time?
you see that version of gatekeeping?
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to prove yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the way I think comedy should be across the board. You get opportunities to prove yourself. And let me tell you something. Bill Burr said it best. Burr said it best. This girl comes up to him and she was like, do you think females are as funny as male comedians? And Bill Burr gave her a look.
He said,
And he was like, yeah, but you know what? All you guys do is bitch and complain. Why don't you just come up with your stupid 5 minutes, become as undeniably funny as possible, and then there's no more gates. Now you're building your own fucking gates. Why don't you build your own shit? That's what he kept telling her. Build your own shit, and then people have to pay tickets to go and see you. Why the fuck do you care what we're doing? And that's what, and that shit hit me. It's like, yo, I'm not undeniable right now. Because let me tell you something. Right, last 3 years ago, when I was for real undeniable, I was deniable. Excuse me. I was deniable 3 or 4 years ago. People could easily deny me. I was bitching about how I was being denied. Now, now, it's hard to deny me. I'm getting spots all the time, and I'm like, oh shit, this is what he's talking about, right? I am starting to do bigger and better shows because I'm doing bigger and better, right? And you have to come to that realization sometimes as a comic, oh, I am not doing as well as I think I'm doing, or I am actually bombing. And I don't deserve shit. I don't deserve a club to look at me. I don't deserve for Rashad to ask me to do a Saturday show. I don't deserve for Panji to hit me up to come to Indonesia. Somebody asked me, hey, I just saw them bomb. They're like, yo, the next time Panji's bringing out of Indonesia, can I come? I said, motherfucker.
I just saw you, bum.
I just saw you bomb. You think you deserve that ticket to Indo? This isn't.
I gotta see you consistently kill. Or not even kill, but consistently do good. Because if I see you bomb 3 sets in a row, and then you like, Rashad, I'd love to do your room. No. And as far as folks like me that have like a show that's like, established and has a good audience, we need to get comfortable with telling comics no, and here's why. I'm gonna tell you no, because I need to see you on a Monday consistently do good. Well. Because like the Monday comics, they'll get like 10, 12 bells. Rashad, when you think I could do your Saturday show, when you get more than 10 to 12 bells, somebody got 250 bells one time. 250 bells and bombed on a Saturday. because on Monday there's a larger room for error. There's a larger
no
margin.
stakes.
Right, there's a larger margin of error because you're trying new stuff. On Saturday, you have to bring the real deal. Bring your best shit. Stop trying to do new stuff. Like I was holding auditions for the New York Comedy Festival, and I was doing them on Monday. And I opened it up to all comics because the comics that were at Harlem Nights, I see them all the time. So why have y'all do it when the same audience is coming there seeing you do the same shit all the time? So I opened it up to everybody. And then a comic that always comes there and does semi-okay felt like, yo, I should have automatically gave it to the comics that always show up. And I was like, no, because that's you being spoiled. You have to work for it.
That's leadership, you know.
Thank you.
That's leadership.
There's not a.
And that's not a lot of leaders in comedy.
Yo.
It is not. So I saw something happen recently at a Harlem comedy in Harlem. Yo, Reggie Cush is one of my favorite comics.
Oh
in New
yeah.
York City.
Shout out to Reggie Cush, man. That dude.
And listen, me and Reggie are not really friends. I don't know him. I just love seeing him on stage. But the other night, I was so happy I saw this show. He had to gatekeep. He had to. And was forced to gatekeep. This person comes up to him and was like, hey, Reggie, when next time you book a show in St. Louis, not even in New York City, in St. fucking Louis, when you do your weekends in St. Louis, I would love to do a couple of spots with you out there. And Reggie looked at her and on some real G shit was like, you need to get your chops up. You're not there yet. You want me to, and he broke it down to her because she was pissed.
Oh, wow.
She was angry. She was like, you don't respect me? He goes, I don't. I just seen you a few times. It's not that I don't respect you. It's that you don't have your chops up yet. She goes, I've been doing it for 3 years, and I'm doing
It don't matter how long you've been doing
3 years,
For 3 years though?
3 years though.
3 years? You don't say that out loud to somebody like Reggie
Nobody
Cush,
says
who's
you're...
been doing it for 12.
Yeah.
Or maybe more at this point, and killing all the time. I think I've seen him have an okay set once. The rest I've seen Reggie, he's killing. And it doesn't matter what room he's in, right? So she's like pissed the fuck off. Yo, you don't respect the time I put in. He goes, it's not that I don't respect, it's that you're not ready for me to pay for a plane ticket. You're not ready for me to pay for your room and board.
Talk about it.
You're not ready for me to pay you for the weekend. You're just not ready. You're not entertaining enough. You're not funny enough. And I haven't seen you kill yet.
And this is what and thank you for saying that. I am tired of comics that are like a year or two in and be like, yo, I need to get paid. For fucking what? For what? For what?
Motherfuckers in a hurry.
It's a get-rich-quick scheme. For what?
I'm sorry.
Next comic is Russian.
Okay.
Oh,
we'll be
okay.
down. We'll be down soon.
Okay.
We'll finish this up and then we go down.
All right, cool.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
So you were saying,
I'm
a year into.
You have to understand, a comedian is an enterprise. The title comedian, that's an enterprise. The performer is the product. We are selling our product with our pitch, which is our jokes. If we have a good pitch, we have a good product. If your product ain't good, I'm not buying that. If your product is gonna work only 30% of the time, I am not buying that. If I see your product working for 8 out of 9 people, I'll get it. Because that one, it can do some work. Not every product is gonna work 100% of the time. If you give me 99.9%, I'll get it. You're giving me 23.7%, and that's fucking high for you. Don't ask for money, because what I'm paying for is for you to feel like, when I give you money, it makes my humor meter drop. If I'm paying my money, my humor meter is empty. I need you to fill my meter back up
so
with the
good.
money that I just gave you.
So good.
And you don't do that. So I'm not paying for that. I had to learn that the hard way because I was going to shows, people was investing a lot of money in me, and not investing money in me, but they would come to see me, and I didn't put up the best performance. But then I said to myself, I need to be undeniable. So I stepped away from those spaces. I got Harlem Nights, and I built myself from there. And now when I walk into a room, people like, Rashad, you going up? And I'm like, yeah, nah, put me on before Rashad. People don't like following me.
Yeah, I've seen people, we've been on some shows, I don't know if you remember. Yeah, I've seen people go, Rashad going up? and I take note of those people. I do. I take note. I'm like, you scared of bombing? That's another thing. If I see Rashad's going up, I'll ask when he's going up. But if they say, Kev, you going up after Rashad, I'm hyped. Because that's going to test my mettle.
Yeah.
Is either, because first of all, to me it's harder to follow someone that bombs than it is somebody that kills.
Yeah, because it's the crowd is warm.
Warm.
You just gotta fight. You just gotta ride the wave, bro.
Ride the wave, motherfuckers.
They don't know how to ride the wave. I had to follow Roberto Vanderpool.
I don't even. First of all, that's a crazy name.
Wait. Roberto Vanderpool has been doing. He's on tour currently with Tracy Morgan.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
He's on tour currently with Tracy Morgan. He's been on BET Comic View. He's been on HBO. He's been on like all the major networks. He is a beast beyond a beast. He is a different beast and the same animal. Put it that way.
Yeah.
He was supposed to close a show at Comedy in Harlem, right? I'm on the bill. I'm like, it's all headliners on the show, me included. All headliners on the show. Roberto says to the host slash owner slash, shout out to Jamie Roberts, that's my guy, man. He was like, yo, I gotta leave early. So I'm like, oh shit. He goes up and he turns the room upside down. Because he's a physical comic. I'm a physical comic. And like my thing is, I don't like putting up two physical comics back to back because it's like, it's two of this, I don't put sugar on syrup. That's my thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's two of the same, yeah.
But here's the thing. You only bomb if you try to do what the last comic before you did.
Yeah.
Don't do what he does. Do what you do. If y'all have similar styles, he's a physical comic, he's quick. I'm physical, I just gotta do it a beat slower. So it's like I gotta change my gear a little bit and then at the right time go full speed.
Yeah.
And he killed. I went up after him, I was nervous, but I fucking destroyed.
Yeah, and to answer your question,
Yes.
you need gatekeeping.
You
You need to do it in a way where people feel like there's a chance there can be something, right? Because like there were times where I'm like, why are you gatekeeping?
Yeah.
There are some people who be gatekeeping shows, and it's like, hey man, there's 3 people at this bar.
Yeah, it's like don't gatekeep and not give an explanation of why I can't get it.
Yeah.
Don't just say no because you can't, because you don't like me for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
But then don't turn around and fucking come support my show like you just didn't tell me no. Like you just didn't tell me I can't do your show because, and you didn't give me an explanation of why I couldn't do it, left me on red, sent you mad messages.
I have so many mixed feelings about gatekeeping because this is also like wrestling.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to Vince McMahon talk about wrestlers, there's no ego. He talks about, he hates Hulk Hogan. Guess who he'll hire in an instant? Hulk fucking Hogan.
Yeah.
Right? Now is Hulk Hogan undeniable? Of course.
Of course.
Right? But he's done some stuff where it's like, he's done some things to Vince McMahon where you'd be like, he should be dead to him. He went to WCW. He shouldn't have done that, but he did it.
Yo,
And you know what Vince does? you know what? They paid you a shit ton of money. I would have done it too. Come back. I have a bill for you with The Rock. It's gonna outsell everything they did in WCW.
Yeah, that's being fair.
Yeah.
That's not being just fair. You have to understand. Like I'm talking about, people have spit in Vince McMahon's face and he hired them back.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I think comedy does this thing where, with like at a certain level, people think they're bigger than what they are, or whatever, or like they're not gonna come back down. Right? Because it don't matter who you are. We were just talking about Martin Lawrence, and we were talking about how he had he had to put on he hasn't been as funny in a while. Right? I'm like, Martin Lawrence had a crazy run in the 90s.
Yeah.
Can we give him some credit?
Yeah.
And now as he comes back down, I'm sure there are people are looking at Martin and like, I remember when you treated me like shit. And I'm sure there's some people like, I remember when Martin gave me $500 when I needed it. And they'll help him, and they're on their way up, and they'll bring Martin, hey, come do this movie, Martin. I got this role for you, it'll be perfect. Like, I don't know how gatekeeping is touchy. I don't think it's impossible to answer.
Yeah.
It really is.
But this is really an interesting talk.
Yeah.
It is. I learned a lot about this, thank you. But you need to go.
You gotta go do
Oh,
You're
okay.
out.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right.
kill it.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. All right, kill it.
All right.
Isn't that wild? This is. Don't you think I wish it was taped, like so somebody else can watch it.
What do you mean?
We were
This?
talking about. Yeah, this we were talking about.
What do you mean?